Well, kids, she done did it. She done did it. Hit it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I don't know why I thought I got that in my head. As soon as I said she done did it, I was thinking, hit it. Boom. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. It takes two to make the thing go right. If y'all are 80s and 90s kids, you know what I'm talking about. Play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. And stop the music. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Night Live on this fine Thursday, December 5th, 2019. I got the reparations coffee going. I got the FTGs ready, and we have some breaking news this morning. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House of the Representatives in the United States Congress, has given the word. She has given the word. She says it's time. It's time to go, people. Time to go. I'm just gonna play the whole little 5 minutes here, and I may stop it a couple times, but we're gonna listen to it. Nancy Pelosi says go. I guess apparently something in that hearing yesterday convinced her. Now I'm not sure what it was, but she said go. And here it is. Here it is. Okay, here it is.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bonds which have connected them with another. With those words, our founders courageously began our Declaration of Independence.
Now let's just stop there. I don't know why you would be invoking the Declaration of Independence, because there's this really strange myth that the first president thinks he's a king. She's going to talk about this in a minute. I've listened to this already. Whoa! What? Oh, hey! I'm like, what the hell is that? Good morning, Hugh. Oh. Huge G breasts donating to $6.66 here. I see that that's our first super chat of the day. $6.66. That's well, my work is done here. It says, at $6.66, $6.66. That must be the devil's work. Thank you, whoever Hugh G breast is. You'll probably make yourself known. I have a feeling I might know who put that out there. I know we were doing the on Monkey in the probably someone who was watching Monkey in the Morning, because they were doing a bunch of those little funny little names that people use to trick people into saying some crazy shit. You know what? Now that I thank you so much for the super chat. That is the first super chat of the day, and you got the Carlton, because at the $5 mark you get the Carlton. Anyway, let's say good morning, because I know that, Lindsay, you are so excited that you are first, and yes, you get the bell. Good morning. Thank you for being first here, Cynical Lindsay. Also, good morning, Geo, Chicago Mike, Green Thunder, The Mighty, Green Badger Outdoors, Gilded Liberty, Jaeger Pony, RVA, MC Hammer Time, and there's quite a few people actually. It looks like there's quite a few people in the stream, just not everyone in the chat yet. That's fine. You don't have to be in the chat. You can lurk in the background. You can listen at work. You can listen in your car. You can listen later on the repeat, on the recording that pops up on YouTube. Just do what you do. But hey, while you do it, or sometime during that time, make sure you hit the like button, because I know you like what we do. And share the video out. I did tweet it out this morning. Looks like a couple people have already done that for me this morning. I know Diesel Dave did. RVA did. Thank you so much for putting for sharing this out on your social media. If y'all would do that, that would do wonders for the channel. And then also, if you'd like to do super chats like Huge Breast did, the Streamlabs link will be in the chat every once in a while. It's also in the description down below. So there you go. Good morning, Rolling Bear. Also, good morning. I see you just got here. All right, so let's get back to Nancy Pelosi. What did I do here? I think I accidentally. All right, we're gonna be starting over. Yeah, Nancy Pelosi has decided that she's heard enough. Good morning, Tyler F. And so let's go listen to this. It's gonna start over, but that's okay. We'll just do this again. Here we go. And if we'll stop, like I said, I'll be stopping it a couple times during her speech because a couple things I want to make a comment on. So here we go.
Events, it becomes necessary.
So she starts out with
the
beginning of the Declaration of Independence,
bonds which have connected them with another. With those words, our founders courageously began our Declaration of Independence from an oppressive monarch for, among other grievances, the king's refusal to follow rightfully passed laws.
Oh, no. Now, she got that wrong. It was more about taxes and then not be able to represent themselves and within those laws. And she also, comparing Trump to a monarch is silly. It's just effing silly. Come on. Our government doesn't, the way our government's set up hasn't allowed him to do that. Now, has he been able to change some executive orders from the past? Absolutely. And an executive order for an executive order probably isn't a big deal. But anyway, let's keep going.
In the course of today's events, it becomes necessary for us to address, among other grievances, the president's failure to faithfully execute the law. When crafting the Constitution, the founders feared the return of a monarchy in America.
Which we do not have. Just saying.
And having just fought a war of independence, they specifically feared the prospect of a king president corrupted by foreign influence. During the Constitutional Convention.
You know what's hilarious about this, too? He's only been in office 3 years. Or coming up on the end of 3 years. Yeah. Oh, you know what? That's the other thing. It was me. Thank you, Duck Dog, for that generous 666. The devil's work. And she does sound drunk. It's funny because someone commented she sounded like she just got off. She just got home from a late night after a Motley Crue concert. But anyway, keep going.
James Madison, the architect of the Constitution, warned that a president might betray his trust to foreign powers, which might prove fatal to the Republic. Another founder, Governor Morris, feared that a president
betraying trust to a foreign power? What could she mean by that? Oh, is she talking about Russia? I wonder.
May be bribed by a greater interest to betray his trust. He emphasized that this magistrate is not the king. The people are the king. They therefore created a constitutional remedy to protect against a dangerous or corrupt leader, impeachment. Unless the Constitution contained an impeachment provision, one founder warned, a president might, quote, spare no effort or means whatsoever to get himself reelected.
Yes, Green Badger. Oh, now we care about the Constitution. Got it. In the immortal words of Scribe Light.
Similarly, George Mason insisted that a president who procured his appointment in his first instance through improper and corrupt acts might repeat his guilt and return to power.
And that has not happened, as the Mueller report has told you, Speaker Pelosi. The whole Russian thing is a deflection. But, it's funny because there's a lot of things in this speech. You know how she likes to pull ideas and and they were talking about quid pro quo, and then they got some Democratic polling. Oh, look, it's Boomer versus Boomer. Funny. They got some, Democratic polling that's saying bribery played better as a soundbite against focus groups. So they changed their language. It's kind of hilarious.
During the debate over impeachment at the Constitutional Convention, George Mason also asked, "Shall any man be above justice? Shall that man be above it who can commit the most extensive injustice?" In his great wisdom, he knew that injustice committed by the president erodes the rule of law, the very idea of fair justice, which is the bedrock of our democracy. And if we allow a president to be above the law, we do so surely at the peril of our republic. In America, no one is above the law. Over the past few weeks, through the Intelligence Committee working with the Foreign Affairs and Oversight Committees, the American people have heard the testimony of truly patriotic career public servants, distinguished diplomats, and decorated war heroes, some of the president's own appointees.
Now, I can't wait to hear where she goes here. So we did hear a lot of testimony over the last few weeks in the Intelligence Committee. And what exactly was it that they said? Let's think about that, and let's listen to see what Nancy thinks they said.
The facts are uncontested.
Oh, well, that's interesting. We'll keep going.
The president abused his power for his own personal political benefit at the expense of our national security by withholding military aid and crucial Oval Office meeting in exchange for an announcement of an investigation into his political rival.
And now, okay, so listen to what she said there, because not a single person who testified verified that. Not one single person. Now, a lot of them said it. So they may have implied those words, and yet not a single person who testified got any kind of instructions that was what was supposed to happen. And that's the part where they're going to fall on this. The best witness, Ambassador Sondland, who was on the call, who said the word quid pro quo about 18 times in his opening statement the last time he testified, when asked, did the president expect the people, the Ukrainian president, did our president expect the Ukrainian president to make an announcement, whatever, before he got the money? And he said not that he was told that, not that the Ukrainians ever asked him about it, not that the Ukrainians were making arrangements to do such thing. He said, well, I wasn't told that, but I presumed that. And not a single person who testified that they had any firsthand instructions saying that was the case. And that's the part where they're going to fall apart. And that's why when it gets to the Senate, that's all you're probably going to hear. Because the Democrats have been writing a narrative. And the narrative does not fit the story, does not fit the facts. And that's the problem. Now, they certainly have made that case. They say it over and over and over. They repeat because they're on point. Every one of them are on point. They have the narrative down. And yet, the testimony actually says otherwise. And it's funny because none of the news outlets tell you that. Well, some do, the ones that are actually being honest or actually want to hear the other part of it. See, most of our newslets are sycophants for the Democrats. And then you got the one news outlet that's the sycophants for the Republicans. But guess what? You hear both sides of the testimony with the sycophants for the Republicans because they tell you all of it. But when you look at, if you just listen to the news media, if you just listen to CNN, well, they hate this president. And Jeffrey Zucker has made it his goal to make everything about President Trump. And so if you're watching those outlets, that's what you get. You get the same narrative. Anyway, good morning, Smarty Bear, by the way. Good morning, Check Your Logic. And Duck Dog, I didn't say hi. But I did thank you for the super chat. Link in the description down below. All right, let's keep going.
Yesterday, the Judiciary Committee, the American people heard testimony from leading American constitutional scholars.
Yes, that's fascinating. We heard from some constitutional scholars yesterday. That was interesting. And it's funny because it was, you'd think that both sides would be able to bring in, an even number to see if, and actually have a discussion. And we're kind of, well, let's let her finish. Hi, Shoutown Jay. Good morning.
Illuminated without a doubt that the president's actions are a profound violation of the public trust.
Okay, and again, they were not fact witnesses. They are all giving opinions. And you know what? It's funny. She says illuminated without a doubt. Let's repeat that part.
At the Judiciary Committee, the American people heard testimony from leading American constitutional scholars who illuminated without a doubt that the president's actions are a profound violation of the public trust.
Illuminated without a doubt the president's were violations of public trust.
The president's actions have seriously...
It's interesting. Without a doubt, how about without a doubt whether or not they're impeachable offenses? Okay. Obviously, one of those witnesses was not of that opinion that these were impeachable offenses. And in fact, they're all going by the report written by Adam Schiff. Now that report has there's some issues with that report too. We'll get there. I know we will.
Violated the Constitution, especially when he says and acts upon the belief. Article 2 says I can do whatever I want. No.
That's your interpretation of what he said.
Doing strikes at the very heart of our Constitution, a separation of powers, 3 co-equal branches, each a check and balance on the other. A republic, if we can keep it, said Benjamin Franklin. Our democracy is what is at stake. The president leaves us no...
No, wrong. Absolutely wrong. Our democracy is not at stake. Okay? Our democracy is just fine. We will continue to have elections. We will continue to have transfer of power. We will continue to have the rule of law. All this BS, and I kind of... The same kind of BS was coming from the right near the end of the Obama term, talking about how Obama wanted to be a dictator and he wouldn't give up the presidency when it was time for them to step down after the election. I'm like, that's bullshit. And that's bullshit with Trump too. You know what? Our Secret Service, our military, whatever, all vow to uphold the Constitution. Any president who would even think of trying to remain in office after an election at the time of transfer of power would be shuttled their butts right out the door by the Secret Service and our military. Okay? That's how our democracy, she likes to say, our representative republic, works. So that line is bullshit. It's bullshit when the Republicans were saying it at the end of Obama's term, and it's bullshit when the Democrats say it now by President Trump, regardless of the memes by Carpy Dum Dum. Hello, Jedi Ghost Bearer. All right, keep it going.
No choice but to act, because he is trying to corrupt once again the election for his own.
No, he's not. Kiss my ass. And in fact, you know what? I still have not figured out how this just slides off of Joe Biden and that whole little thing when he's vice president, his son's getting appointed by these boards and whatnot, and him making, I'm sorry, have the Bidens been using their office for political and financial gain? There is circumstantial evidence that might be. And who was it? One of those, it's so funny. Oh no, the one guy in the testimony said, well, hearsay evidence could be just as good as, whatever evidence. Well, that was bullshit. Anyway, here we go.
Own benefit. The president has engaged in abuse of power, undermining our national security.
Abuse of power. And I'm not really sure. First of all, I'm not 100% sure how. Let's say this was all true and he had this quid pro quo, blah, blah, blah. How does it undermine our national security on whether or not the Ukrainians have Javelin missiles, which they didn't have or weren't provided during the Obama administration? The Obama administration didn't give them any. Their material help included blankets and MREs, meals ready to eat, but certainly no hardware. And so this administration at least have been giving the Ukrainians hardware to protect themselves in this little aggression between them and Russia. So that's something that's different. Did that by them doing that, did that enhance our national security? Or by the Obama administration not giving them the Javelin missiles and different hardware they asked for, did that jeopardize our national security when he didn't do it and this administration did? Help me figure that one out. Jeopardize our national. You know what? She knows the buzzwords though, doesn't she?
And jeopardizing the integrity of our elections. His actions are in defiance of the vision of our founders and the oath of office that he takes to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Sadly.
Stop. Sadly, my ass. Y'all have been wanting to impeach him since Election Day, not since Inauguration Day. Democrats were signing on for impeachment from the day he got elected, before he was even inaugurated. So I don't think you're sad about this at all. I really don't. The only thing that's sad about this is I don't know that this is going to be. Let's say they do the Articles of Impeachment and they decide to send it to the Senate for a trial. I don't think this is going to be good for Democrats. So that she may be sad in the fact that she's getting pushed towards this by her party, but I think the sadness is going to be coming later. Just saying.
But with confidence and humility, with allegiance to our founders, and a heart full of love for America.
Oh, yes. Now, a lot of people be like, oh, the Democrats don't love America. I'm just saying, they probably do. They kind of do. They just want it to be their way. This is a power grab. It's sad. It's sad. I'm sorry. Oh, cry me a river. Hey, cry me a river. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Okay, I don't think that's what you meant. Anyway.
I am asking our chairman to proceed with articles of impeachment.
Yes, okay.
I commend our committee chairs and our members for their somber approach to actions which the president had not made necessary.
Her teeth are loose, too. I think her teeth are sliding around. Anyway.
In signing the Declaration of Independence, our founders invoked a firm reliance on divine providence. Democrats, too, are prayerful and will proceed in a manner worthy of our oath of office to support and defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic.
No, she just called him an enemy. Ooh, that's not nice. Oh, okay. Anyway, I
So
think she's
help
done
us
here.
God.
So help us God. Okay, so there's Nancy Pelosi's statement. Oh my God. I just. It's interesting that she's calling for this when the Judiciary Committee, which is the committee that is supposed to draw up articles of impeachment, have yet to deliberate on the information that was processed via the, excuse me, by the, is it the intelligence shifts committee, the intelligence committee. Okay, so yesterday's hearings, so to speak, more like just anticlimactic hearings. Normally the Judiciary Committee goes in and goes over facts, but they didn't. They had these four professors come in and testify, and these were not fact witnesses. These were just academics. Academics, yes. Excuse me. Sorry. The smart people, right? P-Dog, the Democrats, as in the party, not the votership. Love what America can do for them, not what they can do for America. Yeah. By the way, good morning, Renovaccio. Good morning. Oh, I said hi to Geos already. I got both green people here, too. Green Thunder Mighty, Green Badger Outdoors. I know you're here. So, anyway, so this hearing yesterday, normally the Judiciary Committee would come in and discuss all the facts of the case and determine if, have a vote within the committee. And then the committee would recommend action to the speaker and the entire House. But strangely, in both of these cases, it seems like Nancy Pelosi is kind of playing the shadow god or shadow president, so to speak, where she is the one who's made the decision. Okay, she decides that the committees are going to investigate these things and disperses amongst several committees. She's the one who she's ordering the Judiciary Committee to write articles of impeachment. The Judiciary Committee had their first hearing yesterday and hasn't reported to Nancy Pelosi. Normally, that seems like that would be the procedure. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but it just seems like it. What about you? Here in Ireland, we're 5 to 8 hours ahead of you and 200 years behind. Oh, good God. No, you have a great history. In fact, you know what? Where in Ireland, out of curiosity? My birth mother's side, all four of her grandparents immigrated here from Cork. And I know, depending on where you are in Ireland, some people think Cork, gross. But you know what? It's still Ireland. We're going to go there in a couple of years, I think. Anyway, that's just a side note. You can answer me in the chat, whatever. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about this hearing yesterday. And now I get a lot of my aggregate stuff from the Ace of Spades. And so I'm just going to kind of read today's the JJ Sefton who does this. Okay, Dublin, cool. I met some people when I was in New Orleans last year. My wife and I met this couple from Dublin. They were just so fun, and we partied with them for 3 days. And I think I got to find out. I think we got her. Laura has her phone number, my lady boomer. But yeah, we're gonna go when we do go there. Finally, we're gonna go to Dublin, and then we're gonna drive. Northeast to Cork, up the coast. Anyway, okay, all right. Anyway, so here's the. It's really weird that Nancy Pelosi has been kind of just calling all the shots in this, and this is completely different. Never admit you're from County Cork. Okay, thanks, Ginger Power. Welcome, by the way. I'm not from County Cork. I'm Black Irish from Omaha. Anyway, all right. So here's. I'm just gonna read this. JJ Sefton, in the news aggregate thing that I always look at, and they always use this. Excuse me. He always does an introduction to the news of the day, and so here's the news of the day introduction, and it has a lot about this hearing. And it says, "Good morning, kids. Thursday." And first, before we get to yesterday's madness, a bit of a public service announcement. For those of you who don't know, conservative stalwart Dan Bongino has launched a brand new news aggregation site as a desperately needed alternative to the Sludge Report, Judge Report. Oh, I might have to put. You know what? I'm gonna bookmark that in my news thing. Here, hang on a second. Let's add that to my put that in my news aggregator list here, and we'll try that. Anyway, okay, as painful and rage-inducing as it has been to witness and endure what the Democrat media complex hurled at this president, and by extension at a majority of the citizens of this nation, I'll say that in a sense it has been worth it, since I believe it has opened a lot of eyes. Yesterday's repulsive performance by 3 Democratic witnesses who witnessed nothing in any way, shape, or form that is remotely relevant to alleged high crimes and misdemeanors. I think it's going to be a seminal moment in the 2020 presidential campaign and perhaps beyond, especially that of this Stanford Law professor, Pamela Karlan. As bad as what the fools and would-be tyrants of the Democratic presidential field are, Pamela Karlan revealed exactly who and what the American left really is to the American people. Her incoherent rants about the president having sexually assaulted more women than 99% of illegal aliens, to painting conservatives as insular and xenophobic, to then crossing a major red line, unless you're a Democrat, of course, by sliming the president's young son because of his name, were bad enough. But the rabid, nearly foaming at the mouth, uncontrollable rage was something else entirely. It was Melissa Click, Trigglypuff, and James Hodgkinson all rolled into one repulsive turducken of pure hatred. Turducken. That is the left, devoid of any facts and perpetually angry at people for realizing it. In any case, the 2 superstars from yesterday were Harvard Law professor and constitutional scholar Jonathan Turley and GOP rep Matt Gaetz. Turley, who started up front, neither supports nor voted for Trump, and is a confirmed liberal, calmly yet quiet, passionately took apart the Democrats' fiasco and warned them of what they were doing to the nation. It fell on deaf ears, and of course, it did fall on deaf ears. I'm sorry. It fell on deaf ears. And of course, Nadler nor none of his fellow Democrats bothered asking him any questions. Regardless of his politics, I admire Turley for stepping up and telling the truth about all of this. I'm sure for his troubles, he will soon become persona non grata in the agitprop media. Matt Gaetz, as the link below states, brought a blowtorch to the hearing by exposing the completely biased statements and backgrounds of each of the Democrats' witnesses from at least as far back as election night 2016. All are and were big-time Hillary and Democratic donors and militant leftists. As for Karlan, she was on Hillary's shortlist for a Supreme Court nomination, and I'm sure along with perhaps Chesa Boudin, a good many other Democrats would be Führers who fancy themselves winning in 2020. No wonder she's enraged. But it's a microcosm of America since Trump was elected. She feels she was denied what was rightly hers, just as the deep state feels robbed from all of us who rejected their chosen candidate. In any case, and the absolute highlight of the hearing, after the bile and spittle stopped flying, Gaetz asked one simple question to all of the witnesses. If you have personal knowledge of a single material fact in the Schiff report, please raise your hand. Merciful, sweet, and glorious dead silence, as not one hand was raised. The perfect counterpoint to the EST-like primal scream of Pamela Karlan. I didn't think the Democrats could sink any lower than they already have in both terms of decency as well as public perception of all of this, more than they did with the Schiff for Brains fiasco. But in any rational, unbiased analysis, yesterday was an unmitigated disaster for them, but they made their bed and now they have to sleep in it. Other things to take note of Okay, we'll get into this later. I'm going to skip that part. Anyway, and yet today we have Nancy Pelosi saying, let's get it on. Just can't figure it out. I'm just saying, I just can't figure it out. Real quick, good morning, Richo. Good morning, Ebony Williams. And good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. Yes, that's their handle. I'm not calling them the gayest person on YouTube. They go by the gayest person on YouTube. If you're coming into my stream, not used to hearing about the gayest person on YouTube, because the gayest person on YouTube is in the chat. All right. By the way, don't forget, this is the Morning Night Live. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 2 p.m., 3 p.m. GMT. Sorry, Ireland and Australia, 3 p.m. Oh, Evil One's here too. Good morning, Evil One. Just a reminder, if you haven't done so already, or sometime during the stream, if you are thinking about it, and I know you're thinking about it right now because I'm talking about it, hit the like button. I know you like me, except for Duck Dog. You get the privilege of hitting the don't like, the thumbs down. Okay, that's fine. Share the stream out. There's a little arrow right there. Super chats in the Streamlabs link in the description down below, and it pops up in the chat every once in a while. But what's going on with my? I'm gonna have to fix my Streamlabs bot that talks for me. Oh, there it is. It says if you have money, consider giving, but it didn't give you the link. I'm gonna have to change that up. We're gonna change that up so it comes on more often, so you don't have to search and destroy in the down below in the description to find it. It'll just pop up in the chat. Anyway, all right, let's move on. So a little bit. So let's read a little bit about Jonathan Turley, okay, who is the Republicans' only witness. The Democrats were allowed to have 3, and the Republicans were allowed to have 1. Now, Jonathan Turley is not on the right by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I feel bad for people in law schools these days, because I don't know there's many people on the right left in law schools these days, and there's no balance. So some of the times these people hear things for the first time when they get out into the real world and people push back on some of their bullshit. But anyway, Jonathan Turley says no bribery, no obstruction in Trump's actions, because that's what they're going to do. Their articles of impeachment are going to be related to bribery and obstruction of justice. Now, it's funny because in the Constitution, it says, bribery is the one of those things under that impeachment thing that it explicitly says bribery, but nowhere in the Constitution does it define bribery. But if you look at some of the, the Federalist Papers and things like that, they're talking about the president being bribed, okay, to do things. And so obviously this is not a case of the president being bribed, although they're trying to make it that. Anyway, let's read this article. This is a Breitbart article, so obviously it's on the right, but it's just a description of what happened. President Trump's actions towards Ukraine do not constitute bribery, and resisting congressional requests is not obstruction, George Washington University law professor Jonathan Turley told the House Judiciary Committee Wednesday. Turley took aim at what... By the way, you know what? I'm going to get... Okay, let's just do this. Let's just get this out of the way. FTG, Nancy. Sorry. You get an FTG. In fact, I'm going to give you an FTG. It is FTG Thursday. There's your FTG, Nancy Pelosi. Turley took aim at what he called a boundless definition of bribery employed by the Democrats in their impeachment report. He also criticized the Democrats for attempting to construe Trump's challenging House subpoenas and refusing to cooperate with the impeachment inquiry as obstruction of justice. You can't accuse a president of bribery and then, when some of us note that the Supreme Court has rejected your type of boundless interpretation, say, well, it's just impeachment. We really don't have to prove the elements, Turley said. If you're going to accuse a president of bribery, you need to make it stick because you're trying to remove a duly elected president of the United States. Turley said that the proponents of impeachment, including Representative Adam Schiff and the legal experts called by Democrats to the Wednesday panel, were wrong when they said that Trump's alleged actions would fit the definition of bribery at the time of the Constitution was adopted, even if it did not fit the statutory definitions of the current era. The bribery theory being put forward is as flawed as the 18th century, as flawed in the 18th century as it is in this century, Turley said. Bribery was not an overarching concept in the 18th century. Instead, it constituted such a narrow crime that some of the attendees of the Constitutional Convention worried that restricting impeach to treason and bribery was too limited. An originalist interpretation of bribery would limit it to actual acceptance of money by someone seeking favorable treatment or policy from a public official. In his prepared remarks, Turley quoted from the legal treatise that explained, "The core of the concept of a bribe is an inducement improperly influencing the performance of a public function meant to be gratuitously exercised. Bribery, as used here, did not indicate some broad definition, but a classic payment of money," Turley explained in his written remarks. And that's, so payment of cash to the person, not to the public. Okay? Turley argued that the narrow definition does not fit Trump's alleged actions in the current controversy. Even if Trump sought to pressure Ukraine to open investigations by withholding military aid or offering a White House visit, this would not constitute bribery under common law definitions. President Trump can argue military and other aid is often used to influence other countries in taking domestic and international actions, which all the time. Sorry, didn't mean to yell. Sorry about that. Now I lost my place. It might be a vote in the United Nations or an anti-corruption investigation within a nation, Turley said in his prepared remarks, adding that invitations to the White House are regularly used as bargaining trips and not something that is typically gratuitously given. Trump's alleged withholding of aid or a White House invitation also did not fit the modern definitions of bribery, which require proof of corrupt intent and the formal exercise of an important public function akin to an agency ruling. Neither withholding a White House invitation nor temporarily delaying within statutory limits military aid meets the criteria of a formal exercise of government power, and the House evidence is insufficient to support the allegations of corrupt intent. Now that's a fascinating thing that I've never even thought of until now. So the aid that was being withheld, there's statutory limits to as how long that aid, any kind of aid, can be held, basically after it's been authorized. And so he's saying that was within the statutory limits. So anyway, what the hell are you talking about, right? And then Turley also said that the record does not establish the crime of obstruction because under the Constitution, presidents are allowed to resist congressional intrusions into executive branch records by appealing to the judiciary branch. Otherwise, any assertion of executive privilege would constitute an obstruction of justice. And so, they're doing the correct procedures, going to the judiciary branch and getting rulings on whether or not they have to testify and things like that. So anyway, the theory being put forward is that President Trump obstructed Congress by not turning over material requested by the committee, Turley said. President Trump has gone to the courts. He's allowed to do that. We have 3 branches, not 2. There you go. And didn't Nancy Pelosi even say something about the checks and balances of the 3 branches of government? Well, the Trump administration is not obstructing justice if they are going to the courts to get a ruling on whether or not they have to do shit that Congress tells them to do. So it's not obstruction of justice. And so there you go. So anyway, again, that's a Breitbart article. Excuse me. Let's see. What's the other one I wanted? There's a couple other I wanted to do here. Oh shoot, where the hell did it go? Okay, that's not what I was to do. Sorry, guys. every once in a while I click the wrong button because, hey, you know, hey, the P-Dog Night Show, the Morning Night Live, now in Boomer Vision. And then let's get, so that was Turley. Now let's get to Matt Gaetz, the other person that JJ Sefton mentions here. This is the PJ Media article, which they're also on the right. I'm just full disclosure here. PJ Media, Representative Matt Gaetz just brought a blowtorch to the impeachment hearings and set a glorious bonfire. This is by Victoria Taft. I'm not familiar with Victoria. But anyway, Wednesday's impeachment hearing in the House Judiciary Committee was comprised of exactly 4 law professors giving their opinions of what they thought President Trump meant when he spoke with the Ukrainian president last July. Again, these aren't material witnesses. These are just people who watch some things on TV and given their opinion based on what they watch on TV, but they have no... Well, let me just... Let's let Matt Gaetz tell you. Let's do that. In 5 minutes, Congressman Matt Gaetz, Florida, laid down so much cover fire and hit so many targets that when he was done, his verbal smoke hung in the air. This needs some dramatic music, man. Hold up. This is glorious. Hang on. Let me get something dramatic for this one. Let's see. Let's go. Where's my fanfare? See, now they changed all this around and I don't know where shit is anymore. It's under... here we go. Hang on. Give me a second. Here, let's try this. Let's try this. Can you feel it? Wednesday's impeachment hearing in the House Judiciary Committee was comprised exactly 4 law professors giving their opinions of what they thought President Trump meant when he spoke with the Ukrainian president last July. In just 5 minutes, Congressman Matt Gaetz, Florida, laid down so much cover fire and hit so many targets that when he was done, his verbal smoke just hung in the air. Gaetz established that all of the professors supported Democratic presidential candidates, and most had given them thousands of dollars. He asked them to raise their hands if they had any personal knowledge of the material facts from Congressman Adam Schiff's impeachment report. All hands stayed down, and he noted that at least 2 of them had been calling for Trump's impeachment for years. That's pretty loud, isn't it? And here's Matt Gaetz. We'll turn this down a little bit. Hang on. No, guys, this is so fun, but sometimes you don't know which thing to click, and that's really loud, isn't it? Here, let's turn that down. Let's hear Matt Gaetz in his own voice, because it was glorious. I would have gone with circus movies myself. Nah, this is here he goes.
So let's see if we can get into the facts. To all of the witnesses, if you have personal knowledge of a single material fact in the Schiff report, please raise your hand.
Don't!
And let the record reflect.
Don't!
Personal knowledge of a single fact in
Don't!
that continues on the tradition that we saw from Adam Schiff, where Ambassador Taylor did not identify an impeachable offense. Mr. Kent never met with the president. Fiona Hill never heard the president reference anything regarding military aid. Mr. Hale was unaware of any nefarious activity with aid. Colonel Vindman even rejected the new Democrat talking point that bribery was invoked here. Ambassador Volker denied that there was a quid pro quo, and Mr. Morrison said there was nothing wrong on the call. The only direct evidence came from Gordon Sondland, who spoke to the President of the United States, and the President said, "I want nothing. No quid pro quo."
All right. Getz also took to task Stanford University professor Pamela Karlan for making fun of conservatives and bearing Trump's name. When you invoke... Oh, here we go.
When you talk about how liberals want to be around each other and cluster and conservatives don't want to be around each other and so they have to spread out, it makes people, you may not see this from, like the ivory towers of your law school, but it makes actual people in this country feel like, excuse me, you don't get to interrupt me on this time. Now, let me also suggest that when you invoke the president's son's name here, when you try to make a little joke out of referencing Barron Trump, that does not lend credibility to your argument. It makes you look mean. It makes you look like you're attacking someone's family, the minor child of the President of the United States.
What's the word for in a game? Like you're playing a game and you get a kill. What's the word that they use kind of in a lot of games? Or sorry, I didn't do that. Anyway, his questioning also, so Karlan explained that she'd given more money to Hillary Clinton's campaign because I've been given to a lot of charities recently because of all the poor people in the United States. No translation was available. Watch the whole thing for yourself. Here it is.
Professor Gerhardt, you gave money to Barack Obama, right?
My family did, yes.
4 times?
My family did.
That sounds about right. Yes.
Headshot, thank you.
Mr.
Headshot.
I have a series of unanimous consent requests relating to Professor Feldman's work. The first, Noah Feldman, Trump's wiretap tweets raise risk of impeachment.
Gentlemen will suspend.
My time.
We'll take that time off. Has the gentleman submitted? Have we seen those? That material?
We can provide it to you, as is typical for unanimous.
And we'll consider the unanimous consent request later after we review.
Very well. Very well. Thank you.
Gentlemen may continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Feldman wrote articles entitled, "Trump's Wiretap Tweets Raise Risk of Impeachment." He then wrote, "Mar-a-Lago ad belongs in impeachment file." And then Mr. Jake Flanagan wrote in Quartz, a Harvard law professor thinks Trump could be impeached over fake news accusations. My question, Professor Feldman, is since you seem to believe that the basis for impeachment is even broader than the basis that my Democrat colleagues have laid forward, do you believe you're outside of the political mainstream on the question of impeachment?
I believe that impeachment is warranted whenever the president abuses his power for personal benefit or to corrupt the democratic process.
Did you write an article entitled, "It's Hard to Take Impeachment Seriously Now"?
Yes, I did write that article.
And in that article, did you write, hold on, I'm limited on time, sir.
I wrote
did you
that
write,
article.
since the 2018 midterm election, House Democrats have made it painfully clear that discussing impeachment is primarily or even exclusively a tool to weaken President Trump's chances in 2020. Did you write those words?
Until this call on July 25th, I was an impeachment skeptic. The
Very
call
well.
changed my mind.
Oh, no.
I appreciate your testimony. Professor Karlan, you gave $2,000, or you gave $1,000 to Elizabeth Warren, right?
I believe so.
You gave $1,200 to Barack Obama?
I have no reason to question that.
And you gave $2,000 to Hillary Clinton?
That's correct.
Why so much more for Hillary than the other two?
Because I've been giving a lot of money to charity recently because of all of the poor people in the United States.
Well, those aren't the only folks you've been given to. Now, have you ever been on a podcast called Versus Trump?
I think I was on a live panel that the people who ran the podcast called Versus Trump.
On that, do you remember saying the following? Liberals tend to cluster more. Conservatives, especially very conservative people, tend to spread out more, perhaps because they don't even want to be around themselves. Did you say that?
Yes, I did.
Do you understand how that reflects contempt on people who are conservative?
No, what I was talking about there was the natural tendency, if you put the quote in context, the natural tendency of a compactness requirement to favor a party whose voters are more spread out.
Well,
and I do
Professor,
not have contempt for conservatives
I'm
And I
very
do not
limited
have
on time, Professor. And so I just have to say, when you talk about how liberals want to be around each other and cluster, and conservatives don't want to be around each other, and so they have to spread out, it makes people, you may not see this from, like the ivory towers of your law school, but it makes actual people in this country
When the
feel like,
president
excuse
calls
me, you don't get to interrupt me on this time. Now, let me also suggest that when you invoke the president's son's name here, when you try to make a little joke out of referencing Barron Trump, that does not lend credibility to your argument. It makes you look mean. It makes you look like you're attacking someone's family, the minor child of the President of the United States. So let's see if we can get into the facts. To all of the witnesses, if you have personal knowledge of a single material fact in the Schiff report, please raise your hand.
Oh, you know what I need right here? I need this, instead of this music, I just need the sound of crickets.
And let the record reflect. No personal knowledge of a single fact. And you know what? That continues on the tradition that we saw from Madam Schiff, where Ambassador Taylor could not identify an impeachable offense. Mr. Kent never met with the president. Fiona Hill never heard the president reference anything regarding military aid. Mr. Hale was unaware of any nefarious activity with aid. Colonel Vindman even rejected the new Democrat talking point that bribery was invoked here. Ambassador Volker denied that there was a quid pro quo, and Mr. Morris said there was nothing wrong on the call. The only direct evidence came from Gordon Sondland, who spoke to the President of the United States, and the President said, I want nothing. No quid pro quo. And you know what? If wiretapping a political opponent's an impeachable offense, I look forward to reading that Inspector General's report, because maybe it's a different president we should be impeaching.
Gentleman's time is...
And there you go. So that, yeah, Matt Getz was on fire. Okay, enough of this music. Although it's kind of fun, I should just have my whole stream with this music, and I could just be super dramatic. All right, let's get rid of this. Let's switch to a little funk, because we got to do some Twitter trends and get the hell out of Dodge. So, real quick, let's go to some old school funk. We'll change it up a little bit. Alrighty then. So now let's get into Twitter trends for the day, because that's about as far as I'm going to go. By the way, another couple thank yous. Thank you, Tyler F. I already mentioned RVA and Diesel Dave. Thank you guys for retweeting the show out this morning. If everybody does that on a regular basis, we will grow and grow and grow. And I might be able to buy some new shoes. So there you go. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about hey, there's Lady Boomer. Hi, Lady Boomer. Have a good day. Let's get into the Twitter trends now. Pretty much everything on the Twitter trends today has to do with the hearings and impeachment of Nancy Pelosi. So, let's just get into it, in the immortal words of that one dude, DeFranco guy. So trending number one, obviously Nancy Pelosi with her public statement regarding instructing. Now this is fun, instructing the Judiciary Committee without a recommendation yet from that committee. Going a little bit backwards here. Announcing that she would, she's instructing the Judiciary Committee to come up with articles of impeachment. It's funny, even though there's no doubts. Well, wait a minute. There were obviously some doubts, because one of those professors said, this is probably not the smart move here. But anyway, so she's trending number one. Now, most of the tweets. Here's Ben Shapiro's take. This was a foregone conclusion the moment Pelosi announced the opening of the impeachment inquiry. Did anyone truly think the Democrats would say, oh yeah, we inquired and everything was just dandy? Okay, so that's Ben Shapiro's take. Now, skip at ABC News. Lindsey Graham says, glad to see Speaker Pelosi is keeping her word to be thoughtful and prayerful about impeachment. One day after hearings involving law professors giving their opinions, she is directing articles of impeachment to be drafted. Salem witches got better deals than this. That's kind of funny, Lindsey Graham. Good for you. Again, this is all out of sorts. It's really weird how. So the the Intelligence Committee, which has nothing to do with impeachment. That is not their function in any stretch of the imagination. The Judiciary Committee is the one that is in charge of, any kind of impeachment proceedings. And their only hearing so far has 4 witnesses, none of which are fact witnesses. Okay? Not a single fact witness. And so why is she instructing the Judiciary Committee to write up articles of impeachment when no facts have been presented officially to the Judiciary Committee other than a partisan report from Adam Schiff? Okay? His findings do not include the Republicans on that committee's opinions. It only includes his. And he tends to write stories when he talks. You know how he kind of how he has a tendency to make up shit and make it, he's kind of like, how you ever watch The Young Turks? You know how Cenk Uygur, when he's arguing, he makes up just fantastical stories that are shit that nobody ever said, but so easy to argue against. I mean, we're not talking straw men. We're talking like straw abominable snowmen. We're talking straw space aliens the size of what's that movie with the blue people? With the giant blue people? They went to go, Avatar. Remember Avatar? Those giant blue looking things? We're talking straw men the size of the people in Avatar. Okay, and then you argue against that straw man, and that's kind of what Adam Schiff does. But anyway, let's see anyone else here. Elizabeth Harrington, who is GOP national spokesman, says Nancy Pelosi just admitted this phony impeachment was 2.5 years in the making. This is not about facts, evidence, or truth. This is the Democrats' unhinged vendetta that began November 9th, 2016, the day Trump was elected. Yep. Let's see, who else? Laura Ingraham. I'll skip Laura Ingraham. We know what she probably thinks. This is Melissa Francis, who's a news anchor, mom, wife, Slurpee drinker, best-selling author, says Nancy Pelosi saying that she finds impeachment heartbreaking is offensive to people who actually have hearts. Manu Raju, senior correspondent for CNN. After her speech, Pelosi met with a couple dozen House Democrats in the basement of the Capitol and discussed the necessity of moving forward. She was greeted with enthusiasm and no dissent per attendees. Well, let's see. That's great. She met with a couple dozen House Democrats and got no dissent. How about you? I'm shocker. That's a shocker. Let's see. And then she's got 20 minutes here. I'm not gonna, she spoke with reporters. Let's see, who else is, Max Boot. Max Boot, former conservative Republican. No, Max Boot, jackass. I accede to the wisdom of Nancy Pelosi. She knows what she's doing. He's responding to David Axelrod. Here's what Nancy Pelosi knows. The White House would stall as long as possible in the courts any effort to get principals to testify or documents disgorged. Fascinating. So again, this isn't about it's not about what the president did. It's about getting this impeachment started before the next election. And there's been more than one Democrat who's kind of slipped on that. Saying, the only way we're going to get him out of there is to do impeachment now because, we may not be able to, beat him. Kamala Harris! I'm so sad she's out of the race. Kamala Harris says Trump is a lawless president who has betrayed our country and broken his oath of office. I agree with Speaker Pelosi. Our democracy is at stake. Trump must be impeached. No one is above the law. Except for that, what was that woman with mishandled the classified documents? What was her name? Yeah, her. And I think her husband's been accused of rape more than once, and they seem to be perfectly above the law. I'm just saying, it's funny how no one, thinks about them. All right, enough about Nancy Pelosi. Number 2 on the list today is Trump is a laughingstock. Joe Biden put out an ad today saying that Trump is the laughingstock. Here's Joe Biden's ad. We'll watch this one. Hang on here.
About President Trump. Several world.
Hang on, here we go. We'll start it over. Maybe. Will it work? All right, let's try this. Here, we'll just play it like this.
Leaders caught on camera laughing about President Trump. Several world leaders mocking President Trump.
They're laughing at
now.
My administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
World leaders mocking and ridiculing him for being completely off balance.
Allies are deeply worried about it. They say he's becoming increasingly isolated. Something is very wrong.
The world sees Trump for what he is: insincere, ill-informed, corrupt, dangerously incompetent, and incapable, in my view, of world leadership. And if we give Donald Trump 4 more years, we'll have a great deal of difficulty, if ever, being able to recover America's standing in the world and our capacity to bring nations together.
He's a leader the world respects. You know, I think they're really going to respect Joe Biden when they see him licking. Now, the thing with him licking his wife's finger, not such a big deal, really. It was if it had been any other candidate who didn't have a history of weirdness, weird little things, it probably would have just been seen as, kind of heartwarming, just playful, whatever. But when you put all the other weird things that Joe Biden does and Joe Biden says together, you go, that's kind of weird. And then there was the leg story. Now I'm just gonna open a new tab. Joe Biden's leg. Joe Biden's leg. Let's see if we can find that little clip, because I'm sure it'll pop up here somewhere. So he told this story. Remember the story when he was talking about here it is. Remember when he told the story about what oh my god. Anyway, here's Joe. Let's just watch Joe Biden's leg story. This is just weird. Oh, this is too long. This is someone else's video. Hang on. I'm gonna pause this. It's got to be in here somewhere. All right, I'm sure most of you talked about, heard the leg story. Oh, see, this is telling us it's an out of context video recently where. Oh, now I'm gonna have to watch this one later. Apparently that leg story where he was talking about his legs turned blonde and kids swim up to him and rub his legs down to watch the hair stick to the side and watch him come back up. And he says something about roaches, and I know about roaches and kids on my lap and yada, yada, yada. It's like he has the nerve to talk about Trump being a laughingstock. Come on, dude. Anyway, so because this is trending because Joe says laughingstock. Okay. Oh, now the world sees the Donald with the clothes. Only the GOP did. Yes. Yeah, and this bullshit. He wasn't mocking the guy. He wasn't mocking his disability. This is how Trump mocks everyone who says dumb shit to him. All right. So anyway, that's funny. I'm sure Donald will tweet about that today. Moving on, number 3, Thursday Thoughts is trending number 3. Let's see what's happening on Thursday Thoughts. You would think, now the top one on my list, you would think someone who obtained U.S. citizenship through an Einstein visa would understand that Carlin's statement was not a slight against her son. Well, it kind of was, okay? It was a slight against the family, okay? Because Melania Trump did say something back to her. A minor child deserves privacy and should be kept out of politics. Pamela Karlan, you should be ashamed of your very angry and obviously biased public pandering and using a child to do it. And she did. So you know that didn't just pop into Karlan's head out of the blue. She was planning on saying that. So invoking the president's son's name in your argument is still not cool. Now, a lot of people have been comparing that to the treatment of Greta Thunberg, and that's going to come in a minute. There's another hashtag that we're going to get into, so I'm going to stick with Thursday thoughts right now. Let's see. Here's a Thursday thought. Why don't men take advantage of paid leave? Over half the men say caregiving isn't manly. Oh, bullshit. We're long overdue to stop seeing caring as a role for women and as weakness in men. Caring is a role for all and strength for all. Now, I don't know if that's... I don't know who says that. Do men really think I don't care if... I don't know. I took advantage of my leave when our kids were born. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Am I just that great of a human being? Men say they want paid leave, but then don't use all of it. Well, you know, because paid leave is never as much as you make when you're not on leave. Okay? It doesn't mean that you're getting paid your full salary during leave, and nor should it. Why? I've never understood why you think a company should pay you when you're not there. You're not producing anything. Now, we knew we were having a child. We planned ahead. But, gosh, that means you have to actually take some responsibility for your own life. I mean, who's paying for the paid leave? The government's not paying for it. The company is. So anyway, but again, you don't make as much on your paid leave as you make when you're actually working. Okay, it's not. Anyway, any more Thursday thoughts? I'm done with Thursday thoughts. Let's move on. Americans for impeachment trending number 4. I'll just do one. Politics matter. If Nancy Pelosi actually had real evidence against Trump, she wouldn't have wasted so much time presenting hearsay testimony from so many witnesses without firsthand knowledge. Expect impeachment to become far more common, as not liking a president is now cause for impeachment. That's something called Politics Matter. Billy Baldwin, like a boss. That's one of the Baldwins that don't like Trump. It's not too late to say for real Donald Trump to resign and go fuck himself. Americans for impeachment. Yeah, that ain't happening. And in fact, I'm pretty confident that now, even with this, Trump will be here till 2025 January, unless something really awful happens. So anyway, let's see. Here we go. Moving on. Thursday motivation we'll skip. Thursday morning we'll skip. Thursday vibes we'll skip. Well, you know what? Wait a minute. I've never done a vibes. Let's do this. Let's just hit one Thursday vibes. Good morning. Good Thursday morning. Wishing you a most wonderful day. There you go. Nice little snow globe. Okay, there's our Thursday vibe. I did it. Now I'm going out of it. Let's go. Alita sequel. Oh, now isn't Alita Angel? Is that the one? There's going to be a sequel to the Alita movie. Chinese Alita army is here. Alita forever. Alita Battle Angel meme bot activating. Beep boop. Have any Alita sequels? Have any Alita sequel thoughts lately? The Alita Army. All I have are Alita sequel thoughts. Okay. That's for the people who are Alita fans. Alita Army has been doing this all for the Alita sequel. Okay, so apparently, is there going to be a sequel? That's what I can't figure out. But apparently there are a lot of Alita stands out there. There you go. All right, let's get back into this. Moving on. Madam Speaker's trending. That's Nancy Pelosi. We've done enough of Nancy this morning. James Rosen is trending. Would love for you to have a panel featuring James Rosen, and John Solomon to further discuss. That's replying to Cheryl Atkinson. Oh, Sinclair Broadcasting reporter James Rosen, who left Fox News after sexual harassment allegations, asked Nancy Pelosi if she hates Trump. Oh, and she says, "Don't mess with me when it comes to words like that." Here, let's listen to this.
What
Pelosi.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do you hate the president, Madam Speaker?
I don't hate anybody.
Representative Collins,
I was raised
reason
in a
I asked.
Catholic house. We don't hate anybody. Not anybody in the world. So don't accuse me.
I did not accuse you.
You did.
I asked a question.
You did. And
Representative Collins yesterday suggested that the Democrats are doing this simply because they don't like the
I
guy.
had nothing to do with it. Let me just say this.
I think it's an important
I
point.
think the president is a coward when it comes to helping our kids who are afraid of gun violence. I think he is cruel when he doesn't deal with helping our dreamers, of which we're very proud. I think he's in denial about the climate crisis. However, that's about the election. This is about the election. Take it up in the election. This is about the Constitution of the United States and the facts that lead to the president's violation of his oath of office. And as a Catholic, I resent your using the word.
Oh my God! No, she didn't. No, she did not just invoke her Catholicism. Nancy Pelosi. Now, I'm not a Catholic, and so I don't care about the Catholicism. But the fact that she's invoking Catholicism, Nancy, aren't you one of the biggest abortion advocates? Don't invoke your Catholicism unless you're going to invoke all of your Catholicism. I'm sorry, that's just nonsense. And I'm not even anti-abortion. I'm pro-choice. You know, I think there should be legal. I just think there should be some restrictions. But for her to invoke her Catholicism, holy shit! Holy shit! I can't believe she just did that. My Catholic. God, I wish she'd stop drinking before she came to press conferences.
Hate in a sentence that addresses me. I don't hate anyone. I was raised in a way that is a heart full of love, and always prayed for the president. And I still pray for the president. I pray for the president all the time. So don't mess with me when it comes to words like that.
Wow. So that's why James Rosen is trending. Now, it's interesting. James Rosen, a reporter for Sinclair, shouted if she hates the president as Speaker Pelosi was leaving the press conference. Okay, so she got up all in his face. Oh, here's I don't know if you can hear it here. Now, if you can't hear her lecturing him there, but anyway, so that's why James Rosen is trending. Oh, he'll be getting fired from all the left today. Okay, beyond that, let's see. International Ninja Day. Well, you know, we have a day for everything. Today is International Ninja Day. Oh boy, baby, let's go. International Ninja Day, stay alert. Days of the Year has a cool write-up about the history of ninjas, and they suggest wisely, as a modern ninja appear as a modern ninja appear unexpectedly to do great acts of charity for the common man. International Ninja Day, MST3K style. Celebrate International Ninja Day as a modern ninja by appearing unexpectedly to do great acts of charity. Never forget that ninja were oppressed, hungry commoners before they were feared warriors. Give back to their roots and honor them, and maybe order a pizza too. So apparently International Ninja Day is more for doing acts of kindness today, doing unexpected acts of charity. My favorite is always to do something for an old man wearing a veteran's hat. If you see one at McDonald's or in the drugstore line, maybe buy them a candy bar or pay for their McDonald's or something. So that's what International Ninja Day is about. Okay, moving on. That's funny to me though. Today is Repeal Day. What is Repeal Day? Oh my goodness. What do they want to repeal? It's Repeal Day, the day the United States ended prohibition of alcohol. Oh, where's my bourbon? I got to throw some in my coffee. 86 years later, it's time we end the federal prohibition of cannabis once and for all. Legalize it, regulate it, expunge the records of the victims of the war on drugs. Okay, that's what Julian Castro says. Party like it's 1933. It's Repeal Day, December 5th. I did not know that December 5th was Repeal Day, but hey, Jack Carr knows that on December 5th, 1933, the 21st Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America was fully ratified, repealing the 18th Amendment and ending the era of Prohibition. If you enjoy the occasional beverage, raise your glass this evening in celebration of freedom. Yeah. Oh, by the way, remember yesterday I said that my daughter was going to come over and we were going to do the Christmas Village? That didn't happen yesterday. I'm kind of bummed. We got our days crossed, and she was here at 3 o'clock, and I wasn't home till 5:30. So we're doing it tonight, and I might have a beverage in celebration of Repeal Day. All right, let's go. Moving on. What else we got? Pit Mad. What in the hell? Pit Mad is a day dedicated to write. Oh, it's pitch day. So writers pitch like stories in 280 characters on Twitter. So Pit Mad. Here's a good one. Netflix Hill House and you. Their house is haunted, and they're trapped inside it. To be released, they must figure out which of them is keeping a secret. Heidi just wants someone to confess. Celia's acting odd. Elliot won't leave her alone. And the house wants them dead. Is there music going on in my background? I can't hear it. Do y'all hear music? I don't hear any music. Or is it just really quiet? I can never tell. Anyway, that's what Pit Mad. They do story pitches on Twitter, and they do it like every Thursday. All right, moving on. SPH Healthy Futures. What the fuck is that? Okay, this must be something having to do with what? SPH Healthy Futures. Albert Lee, Minnesota life expectancy increased 3.2 years after 2 years of implementing Blue Zones policies and practices. I don't know what that is. All right, you convinced me. SPH Healthy Futures. Oh, okay, I don't know what this means, and I'm not going to try to figure it out. Okay, you guys hear music? Okay, I just don't hear it. Maybe it's... Oh, there it is. It's in there. It's just, I don't hear it as much as you do. All right, and then finally, 18 and 19 are both Spotify related. Apparently, according to Spotify, trending number 18. What does this mean? The most played song of 2019, according to Spotify, was Money by MJ. You can tell I was in that mood. Okay, according to Spotify, Wrapped 2019, I'm the most basic bitch that ever lived. All right, top song. Okay, so apparently these people are dancing to the top song.
Sausage. I'm a skinny bitch, but I still take the sausage. Got a fat ass, but I still take the sausage. Got a flat ass, but I still get the sausage. Look up in the marina, I eat the sausage. I'm a redhead, but I still take the sausage. I'm a gay nigga, but I still take sausage. White girl swag, I don't take it, man. Sausage. Sausage. White and thick, but you know I get the sausage. Yeah, I read books, but they all about sausage. Sausage, 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 sausage. I like girls, can I still take sausage?
Oh my God. What is going on in our world? I don't know. I'm done with that hashtag. And the last one, Spotify Wrapped 2019. Music streamers are sharing their listening habits as Spotify Wrapped, meaning the wrapping up the end of the year, has dropped. So let's see. 1 minute too many. What? We've spent some serious quality time together. Okay, so anyway, people are talking about their Spotify experiences. I don't use Spotify either, so I personally don't give a fuck. All right, people. It's that time of day when I say I am so glad we've had this time together. I hope y'all have enjoyed the show today. Didn't do a whole lot of FTGs, although I'd just say... the most important one we got, FTG and Nancy Pelosi. But that's just me. Now, some of you may not be... some of the people who may watch this either now or later or whatever may decide that that is not how you feel about this whole thing that's going on in our government. But you know what? When I say FTG, I mean FTG to all of them. I don't care. They're just pissing me off. I don't care. And on that note, we're going to end the Morning Night Live. Remember, we are here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 3 p.m. GMT for people in other parts of the world. By the way, I didn't say good morning to Maniac Man. I see you're here too. And did I say hi to Smarty Bear? I don't know. Gulf City Cult to Kill too. I see you popped in too. Hey, while you are thinking about it, because right now I am talking about it, right? Wait, what? What the hell happened there? Oh, okay. I went too far ahead. While you're thinking about it, as I'm talking about it, if you like what we do at the Morning Night Live, please let me know. I gotta know. I gotta know if you really love me. Okay, anyway, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Okay, that little thumbs up down there, right down there. And if you share out the stream, you gotta remember to do that. Also, donations, super chats through the Streamlabs link down below. Or you can send it to, I do Venmo, at PDogNight, just like my Twitter handle, just like my Minds handle, just like my Gab handle. That's also my Venmo handle. If you want a donation through there, I'll read those messages too. And my Instagram, at YesThatMarty. So, that's it for today. I hope you all have a great Friday. Tomorrow, I'm going to see if I can get a couple guests to come on. I haven't done it so well with that so far, but I'm going to start trying to invite guests a week or two in advance, and that way we can have guests on Friday. And now that I've learned how to use that other program, we can do that. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Let's see if there's anything I should hit here. Oh, good morning, John Connor. Please don't kill any Terminator. Well, kill all the Terminators, actually. Kill all the Terminators. Good evening, good night, good morning. See you all in the later stream. Thank you, Evil One. I gotta go. My name's PDogNight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Hey, this is PDogNight, and thank you for watching today on the PDogNight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDogNight, and I'm out of here.